Hello, hello, hello. Is this on straight? It kind of moves around a little bit. Hi, and welcome to Manifestation with Ari Mack. I'm your host, Miss Ari McIntyre, spiritual life coach and astrology manifestation expert. Now, if you're here today, excuse me, I've had a cold, like a lingering cold for the last like 3 weeks, and I'm drinking tons of water. I'm drinking a lot of tea, but it's just also my sinuses. I think the weather's changing, so forgive me if I'm coughing a little bit. Make sure I get that water in. Whew, manifesting. Now, I'm here to give you suggestions and a little tips to kind of help you navigate through this thing called life. It's quite intense, and sometimes it can get a little weird. Now, I am streaming live under TikTok under Ari McIntyre and here on my YouTube channel. And I want to say thank you guys for all the love on the YouTube. I do appreciate this. Um, as you grow and develop, you expand your mind and your mindset. And at a certain point in your life, you just have to trust that the universe has a plan. You don't know what that plan is. You have an idea of the suggestions you would like to have happen and the direction you would like to go into. But we don't always get to choose. We have to just accept and be the best versions of ourselves no matter where we are. And that's one of the things that I love about my clients, my family, my friends, my life is that when we manifest, man, do we manifest. But it does take discipline and focus because you have this thing called free will. Yeah, free will, which means you can choose to not do something even if it's against your better interest. Now, I know a lot of people make sacrifices because they're good people. I know parents make a lot of sacrifices for their children because they want their kids to have more. But it's also important that you also save some energy for yourself. Save the energy. Carve out that niche of your personal well being goals. No one can do that for you. I can make suggestions, but unless you're ready to engage, it's just a suggestion. So, for this next 30, 40 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you some retrograde fallout. Mercury, the planet of communications, is finally moving forward, but we still have three other planets: Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto, still doing their little backwards thing. Hey, you guys, thanks for joining on the tiki taki. But we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice, guys. We can't go backwards. There's no place to go backwards to. So we have to move through this energy. Now, the first thing I'm going to suggest is to check in on how are you feeling? Because retrograde fallout is real. It's real. I am witnessing it across the board. The lack of communication because you didn't have information. So now you're ping ponging. Unexpected appointments show up that you did not plan. Sounds familiar? Jumping through different hoops. Traffic being a little bit more annoying than usual. But more importantly, maybe feeling that restlessness. Now, I know the water trilogy, that's my Scorpios, my Pisces, and my Cancers have been feeling the restlessness because you got fire, a planet of fire, and a planet of water. So that makes steam. Okay, that just steams everything up. So if you're a fire sign, you're feeling very emotional, but you want to whip ass. That's where all of my Sages, my Leos, and my Sagittarius come in because Sag wants to show their ass because Jupiter is in the planet of Cancer. So for the Sag people, I'm praying that you guys just keep your attitude together, okay? Just keep your attitude together. My mom is a sun sign Sag. So there's certain signs that I follow extremely close because they're members of my family and I want to make sure we're cool. So for my Cancer and my Sagittariuses, it's going to be a whip ass time. That's all I can tell you. For Sag, you're going to have to think and feel the emotion before you do something. For Cancer, you're going to be expanding like crazy. Like you have an opportunity now to actually make your dreams come true. Okay, water baby? Now, as a planet, we're being forced to look at our big picture as a family. And if you know anything about family, because Jupiter is in Cancer, Cancer rules family. Okay, it's a little water baby. It's ruled by the moon. The moon changes its phases every 2 days. So that's why people think they're so moody. They think cancers are moody. They are, but a lot of times they can't help it because of their placement. They're very loyal though. Almost married to Cancer. Once they get their hooks into you, that's what they want, and they will move heaven and earth for the people that they love. Okay, but we're talking about expansion of our families, expansion of our values, and maybe an expansion in your pocketbook. Yeah, because the other thing is you also come up with new ideas. Necessity is the mother of invention. I'm going to say that again. Necessity is the mother of invention. Because when you have to do something, you no longer start playing games. You start looking at how you're going to get it done. And that's where we are now with Saturn being in Aries. Hey, Miss Lopez, how you doing? I know it's emotional. I know it's emotional. And Earth, you know, as my Virgos, my Tauruses, and my Capricorns, you guys want that practicality. You want that rhythm. You want things to just fall. I get that, Earth, but right now, it's not about that. We got fire and air running things right now, okay? Which is not a bad thing. For my air signs, Geminis, Libras, Aquariuses, I mean, your intellect is very high. You may want to detach from your emotions, but Pluto being in Aquarius says you're not, especially Aquarius energy. Aquarius and Scorpio right now, you guys are so goddamn sensitive. It's not even funny. I mean, you can feel things, you can pick up on energy. And I'm asking my Sages and my Cancers to work together, as well as my Aquariuses and my Scorpios. Because y'all intense and y'all fixed. You know, if you like what I'm saying, show me some love, you guys. Hit that dot, show me some hearts. Love me. I do this from my heart, but I also want your heart to heal. Look, I've helped hundreds of people, if not thousands, achieve their goal, connect with their higher power, and be happy in this world. Okay. This is the coaching that I signed on to. Some people, do it for the money, and I enjoy money, don't get me wrong. But to see my clients succeed, to see my people hit their goals consistently, I have a case right now where she didn't hit every goal we set up. Every single goal, she's hit it. She's now working on other possibilities, things that she's never considered. I myself have watched the universe come out of thin air with things that nobody could see coming. But it's the prayers, it's the meditation, and the intent of the energy around you that sets you up for that. And if you have a putrid attitude, this retrograde gave you reason to say, okay, let me be putrid. But if you stay there, I promise you, you will not like the long term results, because you will get whatever it is you're bargaining for. And what hurts me, what makes me sad, is when I know in my heart that is not what they want. Like a person saying all these nasty, horrible things, and they don't realize they can manifest that. Okay? I got to have more information, Dorothy, before I try to tune in. So you need to follow and like and DM me. Okay? But what I'm saying is, when you have to slow down and start looking at yourself, you can no longer blame the outside world for your choices. How about them apples? That you get to own your responsibility, which changes your frequency. Now, when this retrograde ended, which was on the 10th, you still got to deal with the turbulence, okay, of now going uh, back with the Earth's like gravitation. So we were going against it. Now we have to flow back towards it. And that's where the turbulence is, right here, right here. When that energy has to pass, it's always shh. So if you're feeling a little choppy in your communications, things ain't being received very well, or you think you said something, but no, nobody's listening, that's the energy that you're dealing with right now. We're dealing with turbulence. Mhm. And for my water signs, you may have a hard time sleeping. I would suggest trying to walk more water. That's my Cancers, my Pisces, and my Scorpios. I mean, a good solid 45-minute walk, preferably in a safe, clean, positive environment, and actually wear that energy out of yourself. Yeah, because with Jupiter being in Cancer, you're going to feel the emotions. You may even find yourself sitting and crying. I mean, I've had several clients call me and just cry because just things are so hectic and so stressful, and they just don't know what to do. I understand that. But it goes back into this: what's coming out of your mouth, what you feel in your heart. Do you really believe that the world is poo poo and caca? Because if you do, that's what you're going to attract, just more of the same. Or do you have any faith in the ability that things can get a little bit better? Just stop and think about that for a second. Mercury is still in Leo, so we still have these big thoughts. The sun is still in Leo, which happy birthday, Leos. I hope this is a best possible time for you. And we do have a new moon coming up. New moons are always the beginning, full moons are always the end. So, whatever you start in a new moon, you should be on the way of finishing by the time you get the full moon because it comes full circle. It's the cycle of life. I studied the Indians, the Native Americans here, and I found that their system of living with the culture was so beautiful prior to colonization. They actually went by the moon cycles. They actually had tribal stuff. They had community stuff. They had a bunch of things in line with the universe. They knew when the nature was changing, they needed to make changes. I mean, it was so awesome. But like anything, change happened. New people came in, and unfortunately, they didn't bring all their cleanliness. They brought some filth and end up spreading disease. And disease is dis-ease. So to protect yourself, that's what I got from that lesson. That the Native Americans didn't feel they needed to protect themselves because they were on their own property, they were on their own land. But they don't realize that energy begots energy. And guys, just so you know, if somebody's being nice to you, but you feel like something else is going on underneath, please honor the underneath. Please honor that because that's telling you something about the character, the dignity, something that this person is doing is not in alignment with what they're saying. I'm going to say it again. When you're picking up on that intuition, just something's off, something's not quite right, and you feel that jittery energy, usually, guys, it's there for a reason, not for a season. So I'm going to ask you to honor that feeling and just remember it, put it in your back pocket. So, how are you feeling now with this retrograde turbulence that's happening? Hmm? What signs do I have in the house? Hit me. Got some Virgos. I know we got one Taurus in the house because I can feel it. I see it. Okay, what about you guys on TikTok? Any Aries, Scorpios, Libras, anything? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I have little comments that I don't let come on here on TikTok because I got keywords that filter out. Good evening, lovely. Nice to see you. Mm. Learning to take care of not only your mental but your physical body is the cornerstone of being successful. Mhm. Because if you're eating well and sleeping well, you automatically are ahead of the game. Because then you can think, you can make cognitive decisions based on not just the psychological but the emotional. Mhm. And putting those two together makes you even stronger. Yeah, because then the universe knows that you're sincere, and then all of a sudden somebody walks in with the exact things you need, or the opportunity just present itself. Look, I had people who did not have any money to move, none, zero, zip, zero, and they were on a deadline. They had to leave, or they were gonna get in deep shit trouble. Okay, so what did they do? They called me. They asked me to speak an affirmation for them. We did, and then she got nervous. Well, you got to have active faith. Okay, you guys, this is one of the tips that I'm saying to you right now. You got to have active faith. If I believe in you, but you don't believe in you, it ain't gonna go nowhere. Okay. Thanks for liking my live. I appreciate that, lovely. Okay. So what did she do? She got anxiety. Boxes was packed. The new owner of the building was coming soon. He wanted everybody out. She agreed to leave, and she didn't have any money. For some reason, some things happened and the money got funny. So she called me. We spoke the word. We prayed. Literally, it was like the 12th hour. Like she had only a seven, like 12 hours to get out or lose all of her things. Out of the blue, one of her friends came through and said he had rented a truck and they had him keep it an extra day just for some technical reason. Did she need a truck? Did she need a truck? This woman not only need a truck, she needed a Hail Mary pass and a blessing. This was the door being open. This was the door being open. So she said yes. He came by. He happened, this is sweet, sweet spirit. He just happened to have a few friends, a few moving friends, which she told them, hey, I can't pay you today, but I'll kick you some cash in the future and I'll buy some food. They said, bet. Not only did she move all her stuff into the truck, which kept it from being, locked out because the new owners was taking over, but they actually waited a day or so. She did come up with some money to pay for the truck so that they can move her into a place that the moving guys just happened to have a sister who had a spot and who was ready to let someone come in. And it just fit perfectly. She didn't have any money. She didn't have the means. She didn't even think she had the support, but she had the faith. She had the faith. And that's what we have to stand. You have to stand in your faith of knowing what's right for you, even when you're terrified, even when everything looks like it's not going to work out, even when somebody's telling you to your face, you ain't about shit. And that happens. People do get that ugly, and have that kind of nasty attitudes. And you got to decide, are you going to let their belief system outshine yours? Are you going to give their words so much power that what they say means more than what you think or feel? Think about that for a second. Because it's imperative that you understand where you are and what you're doing so somebody can't come in and knock you right on your ass just with a couple of verbal insults. Yes, you have the power, but you got to look at your affirmation. You have to look at what's coming out of my mouth and what's in my heart. What are you affirming to? Just take a moment. Do you know? Are you on your personal path? Like, do you feel like you're walking in your divine design? Are you manifesting what you say you want in life? Look, we're going through a major shift as humanitarians, as human beings. And time and space has jumped. When you look at the astrology on it, I see things moving faster than they were intended. But I also believe that the universe has a plan. And I'm walking in that plan right now. I don't know all the details. I just know that it feels right now, sharing with you these suggestions and tips that have helped hundreds of my clients achieve financial goals, achieve the love they want in their life, and creating the life that they always dreamed of. But it took work. I ain't gonna lie to you. You got to put some skin in the game. How you do that is you take better care of you. Now, I teach online a guided meditation class twice a month. This Sunday, the 17th, we'll be doing it at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you can, join us. You'll be very, very happy you did. You can register at candlesbyari.com. It's not that big of a deal. And if you cannot make it, you can request a copy of that meditation. So you still have access to it for up to, I think, 7-8 days, and then it just fades. But it's through Zoom. Everything we're doing now is through Zoom. So we can keep a library growing, okay? And really help. Let's say Retrograde really did a doozy on me this time around. Yeah, Tiffany, it was no bullshit. This retrograde was, and we still got some fallout too. So just keep that in mind, that people may have said or done things that they didn't really think clearly on. So they may come back and say they're sorry. Hell, they may come back and try to continue the conversation. It's up to you how you feel about that. But definitely give yourself a break before you start trying to give somebody else a break. Okay? Because all you're going to do is get resentful and be pissed off. Now, at Candles by Ari, which is my home company, I do affirmation aromatherapy candles. Now, I left the labels off intentionally on this one so you can see the brilliant color of this soy-based candle. I mean, look at this. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the thing is that when you're smelling something and you're affirming for something, it comes together. Somewhere in your psyche, you click on a color, fragrance, or sense, and it triggers a memory or a feeling which creates that energy around you. Okay? That creates that energy around you. So if you're getting frustrated, angry, and pissed off, then you have to ask yourself, what's really going on in me? What's really gnawing at me? And it could have just been you crossed, someone who wasn't very pleasant. And they may have sent you some funky energy or may just have a funky attitude. It's not against the law to have a funky attitude. If it was, a lot of people would be in prison. Okay? I know there's a post-retro for like 2 weeks. Is that a pre-retro? Actually, Tiffany, that's a good question. With retrograde, we have about 5 to 10 days to fall out with the Mercury retrograde. The other planets, which is Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto, they're moving slowly backwards against us. So that we feel more like months to come. So Mercury, yeah, you'll see at least about 10 days of just what? Because the energy was so intense. That was a good question. Thank you for asking that. But the fallout will subside. The fallout will subside because Mercury retrograde is like driving around with the brakes on. Like you're driving top speed, but you're burning your brakes completely out because your ass can't slow down. Sounds familiar? You start having that anxiety, like everything just makes you nervous and you're questioning everybody. Now, I know that my earth sign has a hard time with this because earth, that's my Capricorn, my Tauruses, and my Virgos, they like to be grounded. Okay. They like to have that security, that consistency. But see, when you work with me as a coach, you start becoming a little bit more flexible with that because you realize you can't control everybody. Only thing you can control is yourself, which is plenty. If you guys stop and be honest, controlling your own self is one of the biggest tricks in this world. Eating right, sleeping right, knowing when something's just stupid. Okay, when you just know it and you still don't go toward the fire, you go away from the fire. That's true divine design because we feel it. How many times have you driven around and you have this small voice inside of you that says, go left or get off the freeway or you should do this? And because you're reasonable or you listen to GPS or whatever you're doing, you go, nah, I'm going to continue what I'm doing. How many of us have done that? Just take a moment and be real. How many of us have actually not taken that little tiny small voice that doesn't gain anything? This voice is not getting like some residual. It's not an affiliate program. It's not going to call and say, hey, Ms. McIntyre, you owe us some money. That's not how the universe works. It's not how the universe works. They want us to be successful. They want us to be happy. They do. But the question is do we want to be happy? Do we want to put ourselves forward? Or is it just easier to pretend like it's not happening? So take a moment. How many times has the universe tried to talk to you and you just ignored them? Just you didn't hear. Now, I'm going to make a suggestion that if you take it, you'll do well. And if you don't, make a conscious decision right now to not only like and follow and share this, but from here on out, you're going to be paying more attention to yourself. Can you do this? Can you really pay attention to yourself? Can you slow down enough to hear that small voice? And maybe, just maybe, listen to it? Is that out of the realm of possibilities? Or do you think you can do it? Because I know you can do it. Personally, I know you can do it. Because if you're listening to me right now, you hear this recording in the future, then there's a divine design that's already connecting us. It just depends on how you want to receive the information. Now, I have over 300 episodes of my podcast, Spiritual Coaching with Ari Mack, on iHeart right now. So you can tune into any of those and put them in the background and enjoy yourself. It was labor of love. Now, this particular channel, this particular stream is me, you. It's me, you, babe. It's me, you. Because I want to connect with you guys. I want to see your progress. And I've created a program that can help you achieve that. And it's called The Gap, the Guided Astrology Program. We've been doing very well with it. And it's a weekly cheat sheet that each sign not only gets what's happening with the element, but actually the sign. You get affirmations, you get some aromatherapy suggestions. You even get your best days as a sign, zodiac sign, and your challenging days. Mm-hmm. Yep. All that. Intro price is $9.99. That is less than going to Starbucks twice or once with a friend. After that, it's $29.99 a month, and it's on a regular membership. You get your weekly by Tuesday of each week, maybe by Monday, but most likely Tuesday, because I work on them on Saturday and Sunday, just sitting here looking at all the charts. My database is based on I got like 1,000 charts that I've read over the years, and it has a little bit of everybody in it. I am offering a special suggestion for those of you who are on my newsletter blog. There's a survey that I included inside of the blog. And if you do take the survey, I will send you a complimentary link to one of the GAP programs for that week so you can actually take a look at it yourself and see if it applies. But that's inside of the blog that I just sent, the newsletter. So if you have not gotten on that page, I would suggest you go ahead and go register right now at Candles by Ari and go ahead and get with the winning ticket, because between the candles, the affirmations, the aromatherapy suggestions, really, honestly, the only person to be standing in your way would be you. You. You would be the one that would hinder your progress. And I have clients who have done that. I have had people who we get right to the door, right to the door. One client in particular, got to share this story. I went over to her house to cook. It was one of those holiday seasonal things. This is like 7, 8, 10 years ago. We had children there. There was kids under 5, and kids under 5 just need plain, simple, clean food. You don't have to add it fancy, nothing fancy. So I made marinara sauce for the kids that was just plain, no spices, just tomato, a little salt and pepper, clean. And then I made us a white sauce that was more doctored up with 5 different cheeses and just. Mwah. I come back into the kitchen and I told her, this is for the kids, this is for the adults, and the pasta was in between. I come back into the kitchen and she's got another pot in the middle and poured both sauces into the one pot. Now I have to tell you, I had to stop and pause because I didn't understand the action that she took, and I didn't quite understand why she did that. So I stood back and I asked her, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And she said, well, I decided that I wanted to make a vodka sauce. So I just put them two together. And I'm like, okay, but that's going to be a little bit, more acidic it's not clean for the kids. Yeah, but who cares? They'll eat whatever I give them. I had to stand down. I had to stand down because I was in her house. It was her kitchen. Of course, the children did not eat the pasta because it was a little spicy because I put peppers and stuff for the adults. So she ended up ordering a pizza for them. But I asked her later, I said, did you just want to sabotage me? I mean, because like you asked me to do something, I did it, and then you did that. She says, I don't know why I did that. It was like things were going so well, and I just had to find a way to make things, have a little chaos. Well, guess what? We've determined that's what she does. Anytime things start going too smooth, she finds a way to sabotage herself. Now, I don't say anything anymore because she knows she's doing it. You understand? You can't act like you know something once you do. You can't act like you don't know something once you know it. And that's why we do this here. That's why it's manifesting with Ari Mac. Because once you know something, you can do better. You guys need to get you a pink candle. I'm telling you, it's on sale this month. It's the feature candle. I'm going to light this puppy up a little bit later, but this is the kind of aromatherapy we need on a regular basis. Because if you can remind yourself that you're loved, remind yourself that somebody in this world is rooting for you, you most likely won't go down a dark path. Most likely. I can't guarantee that you won't, but most likely you won't be as interested because you'll see a lot more light. You'll see a lot more energy. And isn't that what it's about, guys? Positive vibrational energy to help us grow and hit the top of the food chain. Now, the retrograde is real. There's real fallout, and there will be confusion. A couple of things that I would ask, just a little tip that everybody that's done it has been thankful. You need to shut down all of your electronics at least for 1 minute, that's 60 seconds, and let them recalibrate. That's your phones, your tablets, your laptops, your internet at home. If you have a business, you can just kind of shut down your computer and reboot it. You need 30 seconds though. You need 30 seconds because that 30 seconds is going to give the alignment a chance to come back online. I do it with my phones, and I can tell you they don't act as wacky when I'm doing my shuts off because, it's still retro. Aquarius is still in Pluto, so that's going to hit electronics. So Power down and power up. And you can do this on a weekly basis, guys. Just like you should be backing up all of your material on your phone with your laptop. Right? Right. And you can just go into the settings on your phone and that should, guide you through it. Okay, so that's number one tip. Shut down all your electronics and start over again. Why? To give your body, mind, and spirit a chance to recalibrate because your energy has been scattered. It has been because you've been working with other people and trying to be cool with other people and on and so forth. Another tidbit that I'm going to recommend to you is to find your aromatherapy calming scent. Okay, now here's a big one. How do you self soothe? Think about it. Is there any particular way that you calm down? Is there any particular way that you can feel at ease? No more of that anxiety. Like, what do you do to calm down? Now, a little suggestion, and we use this in meditation, is take your right hand and put it over your heart and your left hand on your belly, and you focus on your breathing. Then it's a twofold. It's self-soothing because it's your hand on your body, but it also gives your body a chance to feel calm, to feel at ease. And then breathe. Just a couple deep breaths in, and then release. Another deep breath in and release. And while you're doing this, just observe your body. Observe the high and the low that your body's achieving. I know breath doesn't seem like it's important, but it's a critical thing in your mental and spiritual well-being. Because a lot of times when we get upset, we shallow breathe. We go, which is that hyperventilating, which also can cause more stress. Do you use any form of meditation to calm yourself? Do you even know how to self-soothe? Okay, then you need to like and follow because this is one of the major techniques is when you can find that center and then you can add an aromatherapy scent to that, which would be your signature. It's something that only you know. Like some people, it's coffee. I know it sounds weird, right? But think about it. Coffee is like a main staple in most countries. I personally don't drink coffee because I'm already hyper enough, but nevertheless, it's very popular. I have people that if I put on a pot of coffee in the morning, well, if I put it on, they're scared because they know I don't drink coffee. But if they smell the aromatherapy from the coffee, they actually get into a good mood. They actually start smiling and laughing and shit because coffee reminds them that they're going to be getting stimulated soon. Yeah, the coffee's going to kick in and they're going to be like, lucky dog, lucky dog, lucky dog, which is not a bad thing. Guys, it's not a bad thing. It's actually kind of cool. But nevertheless, that's their trigger. What's yours? What triggers you into putting yourself in a state of a certain mentals? Now, for me, it's cleaning. I know it's weird. But when I'm cleaning with Ajax or any disinfectant that has a bleach element, for some reason, that's one of the reasons I loved hot tubs and jacuzzis. They always represent clean and relaxed to me. My grandmother was a clean freak because of her beauty shop. So we had to disinfect everything every night because that was just a part of what we do. So I got used to scrubbing the dickens out of stuff and disinfecting the crap out of stuff on a nightly basis because that's how I was reared. So when I go places, I look for that kind of level of cleanliness because I know once you disinfect something, ain't nothing gonna live. Now the Ajax is just because I think she just wanted that scratching component, but it left an impression on me that to this good day, I still have certain amounts of order that I have to have for me to feel okay at home. It's not against anybody, but we never left dishes in the sink and we did not have a dishwasher. I, my brother, my sister, we were the official dishwashers. Okay. And I remember thinking to myself, this is so boring. I can't believe you're making me clean up and do all the dishes all the time. And I was just, literally just showing my ass. Now I totally respect my mom and dad for teaching me the basics of house management. I know how to stay on a budget. I know how to cook from scratch. I understand when healthy surprises come up. See, I said healthy surprises. Just things do happen. But more importantly, both my mother and father and my grandmother gave me faith because they showed me spirit. And they told me, spirit is within you. It's not going to a particular place. It's not hanging out with particular people. If you have the light and spirit, it's going to shine no matter where you go. And some people may be threatened by that light, but that is not your goddamn problem. You're not sent here to dim your light. You're sent here on earth to shine. And if you decide to be a parent, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You just took on the hardest job in the world with no manual. There's no manual. There's no uh, get out of jail card free. Hell, sometimes you don't even know if you're doing it right until much later on. Yeah, I remember when my kids were little, I did all the research on what they should eat and all this good stuff. And I have to honestly tell you, my kids turned out pretty damn good. I never gave them soda pop. I never put them on bottles. They were always, either breastfed or we went into sippy cups because I didn't want the overbite. I myself was exposed to a lot of Similac food when I was a child, and I was sick all the time. Turns out I was allergic to it. Yeah, that's why I could yak it up all the time. I was allergic to it, and my mom kept giving it to me because the doctors told her it was good. Well, as a mother, I did my own research. The best thing you can give your child is time. Time, guys. Children don't know if they're poor or rich. They just know they're loved. So if you decided to do that, I commend you because that's a hard ass job, like I said, with no manual. But on the other side, guys, you get a chance to see something that you brought into this world grow, to expand, to hit their goals. No one can take that away from you. No one. So that's why it's important that you understand your feelings and emotions so that you can be of service to others. I said this 1,000 times. Put the mask on you first. Put the mask on you first so that you can breathe and live another day, to take care of what you need to take care of, to be the person that you want to be. And the last tip I'm going to give you is to look and prepare for your success. When I say look for your success, you're affirming for more money, but then you look at your bank account and keep saying, I don't have any money. Do you see the imbalance? You're asking Sweet Spirit to bring you whatever blessings you feel you deserve. But then you turn right around and look at what you don't have and get fixated like, I just don't have it. I just don't have it. I don't have it. And after a while of saying that, it becomes your reality. Becomes your reality. And that's a beautiful part about the astrology world. Because once somebody looks at your chart, now I look at charts from a spiritual standpoint. I do understand the science behind it, but I'm looking for that divine path, that blueprint within you that the universe is giving me. Okay. And you can look up your own chart yourself. So because I'm a professional. So when I look at a chart, I'm looking at the bigger picture, how to get to you where you want to be and how to create a successful energy around yourself. But anyway, astrology gives you that. These retrogrades are not done accidentally. They're shaking the trees. The only way the universe can get us to go in a better direction. Now we still have free will, so you got the highs and the lows, but you got to look for your success. You have to look for it and look for the opportunities for your success. You can't serve two masters. You can't act like something's not bothering you when it is. It's important that you own this emotion, that you make peace with this emotion so you can figure out how to deal with this emotion. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it's making sense. Okay, just give me a thumbs up so I know that you hear and you understand. The work that we do here at Canvas by Ari, Spiritual Coach Ari Mack, is designed for your well-being, to take back control of yourself. That means you no longer continue to defecate on the poo-poo and all that stuff on things that are good, and not be so goddamn dismissive of things that you you made happen. Just stop. Own it. Look at yourself. Be thankful that everything on you works and there's nobody trying to hurt you. Yeah, we got some silly people that do silly shit. I think that's just part of the course. But if you're not attracting it to yourself, then that tells me that it's not interested in you. Because see, bullies and negative energy, they need to see your fear. Yeah, they need to see your anxiety. They need to see you lose it for them to feel good. I have one friend, I love her to pieces, I do. But every time I talk to her, she complains about something. We've never had a conversation where she has not complained. I don't say anything anymore because I think it's just part of her psychological makeup. I've talked to her about it over the years. She feels comfortable. She feels comfortable in that mental position. So I just keep everything to a minimum with her. I love her, but I cannot stop her from saying, in my opinion, silly shit. So what I do is I just keep affirming while I'm with her, and I bless our conversations because I'm only trying to identify with what she's saying. I'm not trying to say I want to be there with her. And how many people like that? Like they just want to bring you down to their level so that they feel like you're not better than me. And I mean, nobody said a gosh darn thing about nothing like that. That's all their inner dialect or how they view the world. Make note of that. My grandma say people tell you who they are if you just listen. And it's true. And guys, we have a lot of people who are damaged down here. They didn't eat right. They don't eat right. They don't sleep right. They don't know how to be calm. They don't see peace as being feasible. They are looking for the next anxiety rush. You got to decide if you want that closer or do you want to push that away? Because manifesting takes commitment. Yeah. And then you got to go into management. Because once you get something, you have to maintain it. And that's a whole different conversation. Today, we're talking about retrograde fallout. We're in turbulence as we speak. And I need to ask, what did you learn? Now, I do have a list of what each sign should have gotten out of the retrograde fallout. So hold on a second. I had to write in my notes because it was way too much. So for Aries, for example, what you shouldn't have got and what you should be getting is to learn patience and impulse control. Yeah, because Aries, you just, fly off the handle and say whatever the hell you want and then expect everybody to be cool with it. No, that's not how this works. So you got to control those impulses and, use your inner courage. That's what you were supposed to be learning, how to apply your inner courage to attain your goals. Taurus, letting go, being flexible, and reassessing your values, your physical values. Because see, Taurus actually rules earth. It rules banks, possessions. It's actually a physical sign. It's only fixed physical sign we have. But they can get very rigid if they are not open to learning something different. So letting go and being flexible is a big thing for Taurus, but it's for especially for fixed signs. But once you get into that habit, beautiful things will come your way because you're ruled by Venus. I mean, come on, it's the goddess of love. Gemini, y'all supposed to learn how to listen to your inner dialogue and pay attention to what you're saying to people. That was that mental clarity you should have gotten from this retrograde. Okay, Gemini, did you get it? Do you have a better understanding of yourself and others, or are you just kind of aimlessly floating around? Cancer. Whew. Now, you guys were supposed to learn about emotional boundaries and family dynamics. Yeah, that home work life balance. That's what Cancer should have been working on because you got a lot of expansion, Cancer, but you need to work that program. All right. Leo. I love Leo, but your whole lesson with this retro was learning to balance your egos. Yeah. Learn to be a little bit humility, more heartfelt. And not just saying it, but actually doing it where people walk in and they just feel your love. They feel your positive vibration and they appreciate it. Virgo. You know, Virgo just wants to be of service and they want to help. That is truly their calling. They enjoy seeing things happen and digress and everything. But in this lesson from the retrograde Mercury retrograde, they were supposed to learn not to try to be so perfect. Yeah. Just to kind of let things happen and then flow with that instead of worrying so much and putting so much ahead of schedule that you're just burnt the fuck out. All right. Libra, you were supposed to learn about self love, balancing and recalibrating, and redefining your relationships. Libra rules relationships. Okay. So that is their native thing. But if you cannot grow or learn or get past and you keep attracting the same energy over and over again, Libra, You got to ask yourself, what am I doing that's contributing to that? Thanks for the likes, Goddess. Malik, Goddess. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay? Because see, energy, guys, begots energy. And Libra, since you do rule partnership, you also co-rule Venus with Taurus. It's real important that you have those healthy boundaries. Scorpio, wow, you guys got that emotional honesty and that powerful dynamic. You're learning how to deal with the integration of your spiritual and your logical mind coming together. All right, because with all that Aquarius sitting in Pluto, you just got a wealth of information. Just download it. So take it in bite sizes. Do a little bit at a time. Understand how to apply it. Understand what the universe is saying to you. Okay, Scorpios, and don't be so quick to judge and just jump at the end. Take your time. Believe in yourself. Relax. Sagittarius, you guys are supposed to be slowing down, working on your spiritual healing, and refocusing your energy on home and family. Yeah, because with Jupiter being in Cancer, Sagittarius, it's time for you to take the lead on what you need in your life, especially by way of home. Do something comfortable, do something that's going to, like, make you feel more centered. Capricorn, there's a divine timing, Capricorn, and you got to redefine your success and look at your inner structure. Capricorns rule structure, actual buildings, sanitariums, the actual physical. This is what makes them so melancholy, because they're ruled by Saturn. Now, it could be a beautiful thing. They actually get better with age if they want to. If they want to, free will kicks in. And on a high regard, they're hardworking and very dutiful. On the low end, they can avoid dealing with a lot of shit. So, for you Capricorns, it's about your inner structure, your divine timing, and redefining what you consider to be successful. Because maybe you had an image just money, money, money. To be successful, you need a lot more than just money, because nobody can do this all by themselves. I'm sorry. So, Capricorn, just get into some reconsidering. Aquarius, you're being forced to learn that emotional stuff like Spock. I always think of Aquarius and Spock from Star Trek. I don't know why, but I just feel like if I had to pick a sign for Spock, I would pick Aquarius, because they just are so logical based and they can be so dang detached. And my mom had Aquarius moon, so she was just like, oh, just intellectually, and will just mm, dismiss you in a minute, and you'd feel it too, like, be gone. Okay, so Aquarius is right now, because Pluto is sitting right on top of you and Uranus is in Gemini. You need to communicate what's bothering you. Okay, Aquarius, it's not a time for you to hold it in, because what you'll do is you'll start vibrating and start knocking things over and accidentally curse somebody out. I mean, it's going to come out, is what I'm saying, Aquarius. So just try to do it in the most constructive way to benefit you and others. Don't be destructive. And if you have to be destructive because that's what you need, blessings. But I'm just saying, make sure you are handling yourself with the utmost respect and care. Pisces, you're talking about conscious dreaming. Conscious dreaming, Pisces. Neptune being in Aries, and it's going to go back into Pisces one more time, then it's going to be back in Aries permanently. It's time for you to get focused about your dreams. The universe has been very patient with you, Pisceans. Very patient. But now it's time for you to get off your ass and start doing your part. Look for the signs and do not sit on your laurels. Don't start getting caught up in everybody else's storylines, Pisces, because you got to have some clear boundaries. But it's conscious dreaming that you guys were supposed to learn from this retrograde Mercury. Okay, what does I need to do? How do I need to apply this? What steps do I need to take for manifesting? Because remember, you got that free will. So nobody can tell you shit. Either you do it or you don't. All right, so those are my tidbits about the retrograde fallout, because it is real and it is happening. And you do need to have some sort of plan, some sort of emotional space that you can go to be safe and to feel connected. Now, please like, follow, subscribe. Okay, I have so many different ways to help you find your balance and mentally connect with your higher power, but you need to engage with me. You need to talk to me. You need to be on board, because I can't make you do anything, nor would I choose to. This is free will. Everybody that comes to me that's ready to work, we get down to it. And we don't stop until we do it. Okay. And a lot of times we realize, man, I was my biggest challenge. I sabotage myself. Because you will. If you're not ready and you don't want to do it, you will find a way to screw it up. But not on my watch. I told you about that client who realizes that she does do sabotaging things. And now she's trying to make an effort to not do as much because she's, lost money, didn't progress with certain financial things just because of her own personal demons. So retrograde fallout is real, you guys. All right. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that it takes about 10 days for the fallout. Now, I go live on TikTok at least once or twice a week. Yes, my biggest challenge on powerful. I need balance between my physical and spiritual. Yeah, goddess. Yeah, you definitely follow and like and check out my GAP program because that would probably help you keep that center going on a regular basis. Okay. All right. I want you guys to breathe. Remember, we have meditation this Sunday, the 17th at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Please go to candlesbyari.com and register. Please use the techniques that I suggested. Restart all your stuff because, this retrograde leaves little buggy stuff, and maybe go through and defrag your computer and definitely get rid of stuff you don't need. All right. I'm live here at least once a week. I'm doing uploads here all the time on my YouTube. Please, guys, like, follow, subscribe, share, and let's make this world a better place one step at a time. All right? God bless, and I'll see you soon. Namaste. Bye. Bye.